What's going on? We back with the Boxing Link more. It's your boy CJ Goodfellow with the breakdown and prediction. Erislandy Lara, WBA champion, taking on IBF champion Jarrett with Hurd. Right now I'm actually just got done breaking down the footage, and I'm on to the opening bout of the triple header this Saturday with Nathaniel Gallimore and Jillian J. Rock Williams. I'm going to do a breakdown prediction for all three fights. Not a prediction. A breakdown is different. Breakdown when I go through film, I actually break it down and then give you a prediction. The prediction is, I'm just going to give you a prediction off of my memory because I don't have time to break it down the footage, or there ain't a lot of footage on the fighter that's accessible for me. But in this fight, you got, Jarrett with Hurd chose to take on Erislandy Lara before Jamel Charlo. He coming off a win over Austin Trout where he was getting outboxed for the first half of the fight. Then came on strong using his size and, just basically his size and his power to knock out Trout. And that's the same thing he's been doing. His last couple times we seen him, Tony Harris and Austin Trout. Erislandy Lara coming off of another bullshit fight versus Terrell Goucher. He fought a whole bunch of bullshit ass fights in a row. Haven't fought anybody since fighting Canelo a couple years ago. But talking about their strengths, obviously Jarrett with Hurd, one of his strengths is being awkward. He squares up a lot, but it worked for him. He only had just over 40 amateur fights. Well, 40 amateur fights. He was 32-8. And just going off potential right now and learning on the fly. Obviously being 6'1" and probably rehydrating kind of high, even though he has an IBF. You can't rehydrate more than 10 pounds the same day weigh-in, but in unification class, he can do whatever he wants. He come in high heavy. They waived the same day weigh-in for unification bouts. They kind of did that for Canelo and Triple G. For some reason, they consider that a unification bout, I guess because he brought the ring belt, which it doesn't count, but it is what it is. Basically his height, being 6'1", his length, his awkwardness, and coming on strong late in the fight. He finishes strong. He got good stamina. And he finishes strong, and that's pretty much him. And Lara is just, he's slick. Still at 34 years old, he's still slick. He's an excellent counter puncher. Can punch between your combinations. Sometimes that could be a gift and a curse. We explain a little bit later. Still got speed, and I think he got underrated power. That left hand, he's a southpaw. That left hand, it be zipping. It's a very powerful punch. When he sits down on it and throw it, it could be a thing of beauty, and it can, give you that lights out. And just his technique overall. He's a very technical fighter, solid defense. And that's him. You talking about the weaknesses for both guys. Start off with Lara here. Sometimes, for him, it's redundant. Punch output. What he gonna throw. A left hand, a 1-2. He might mix in a right hand. A right hook. As well that he's older. He doesn't like to fight at a high pace. He likes to fight at his pace. And if you push the pace, like Angulo did, he can tend to get tired. But he showed the mental and physical fortitude to push through that tiredness and get his second win back. And his defense ain't, like I said, it's a gift and a curse. Defense ain't always that good as well. He drops his hand. You can hit him with a left hook. Sometimes once you return fire on him, he'll go into a shell. He will go into a shell, and if you touching him, and you throw punches, sometimes he'll counter you, or sometimes he'll just go into a defensive cell and just go into like survival S mode. So that's something to look out for. Hurd is just, for him, experience. He don't have it. Amateur, pro, he's still gaining it. Experience is a weakness. Technique is a weakness. They talk about Wilder being, one of the worst technical fighters. With Hurd, he ain't as technical neither. He ain't as technical. Other than that, he just don't have experience in the technique. He squares up sometimes. He could be a sucker for a straight right or straight left hand, whether you come an orthodox or southpaw. He ain't the fastest athlete in there. He's not the quickest. Sometimes it look like he a little bit slow. But when it comes down to crunch time in the championship rounds and down the stretch of a fight, he look a lot faster than the opponent. Even if the opponent is 10 times faster than him, he just is strong. He gets stronger as the fight goes on. He like a good workhorse running back. That's the analogy I use. The more you give it to him, the more stronger they get, and that's Hurd. But as far as, conventional wisdom, conventional methods, he don't have it. And pretty much that's his weakness. But you talk about overall in the fight, what they need to do to win, for Lara, it's, I think it's combination punching for him. I think he needs to do what he did in the Angulo fight, but don't go on. I mean, I think he's going to be able to do what he want to do in the Angulo fight, but the difference is Hurd doesn't really cut the ring off as Angulo did. And Angulo didn't do a great job of cutting the ring off in the beginning, but his hooks to the body made Lara stationary. That's one of the fights. Well, that's the fight I went back and watched. It made Lara stationary, so he didn't really have to really cut the ring off. His hooks did it for him. And that's what Canelo did. He threw those hooks to the body when he knew Lara was going to dance out the back door, and he made Lara a stationary target. So that's what Hurd is going to have to do. But he throws to the body, but his left hook to the body, isn't as clean or effective, in my opinion, early on the fights as Canelo and Angulo is. So I believe Erislandy Lara is going to throw combination punches. May it be a jab, a one, the two, the left hand. Maybe it's leading off with the left hand and coming back with the right hand. Maybe it's the 1-2 mixing in with the right hook. I mean, that's what he has to do. He's going to throw combinations and come downhill. He can't be dancing on the rope versus guy, for the entire fight. Because once Lara gets tired, which he will, he's 34 years old. He got tired 3 or 4 years ago versus Angulo. But once he gets tired and this dude get to leaning and putting that awkward pressure on him, when he on that rope, he going to be dog food, man. He going to be dog food. I think it's very important for him to let that left hand go in like a cannon sometimes. Sometimes pop shot it. And then sometimes most of the time throw it in combinations. And for him, he need to put his own work into the body to slow this big beast down. But I think it's important for him to box this guy, but box him with combinations and not just with one shot at a time. I think it's important 1-2 a lot. Mix the 3 in. Sometimes come with the 3 and the left hand behind it. And I think it's important to double up and triple up on jabs, which he often don't do. But I think it's important to put this, Lara, and put this Hurd dude in a position of defense. He need to put him on the defense a lot and come downhill and press. Forget that dancing on the rope shit, because when you dance on the rope, you letting this dude come forward doing what he want to do. You might be hitting him, but for Lara, it's always a couple punches at a time. It's never more than 4 punches, 3 punches at a time. It's never more 4, 5, 6. He never get into those combinations because those Cubans are so programmed into doing 1, 2, 3 and getting back in the position to be in the defense. He need to think more offense in this fight, through the whole fight. And I think at that point, he'll be able to get the stoppage, man, to be honest. Because that left hand is big for him. And with some body punches, I think he'll be able to stop him late if he's able to accomplish that game plan I put out. But for Hurd, basically for him is to put the pressure on like Angulo did. But I think what's different from him is he tries to have some head movement where Angulo didn't give a shit. He just came and took as good as he got, and it caught up with him. And what was it, 9th or 10th round? He got a hemo toe on top of his face. So for Hurd, it's basically to put the jab out there. And I think exclusively go to the body early. You're going to give those early rounds. But if you go to the body, Lara is going to try to punch in your combinations. But, if you go to the body, he going to start dropping his hands to the body. And that's how Angulo scored 2 knockdowns with a left hook upstairs. And not only if you go with a left hook upstairs, sometimes mix in the left hook, right hook combination, and then come up under with an uppercut for Hurd in this fight. Once you feel his energy level dropping, set him up with a lot of body shots, with a left hook upstairs or a right hand down the pipe or a right hook upstairs. Keep him guessing on what hook you gonna throw after you come in and dress it up with the body shots early on. But it's the jab, and just put your physical, prowess on him. Make him feel your presence, because he not gonna throw more 3 at a time. So if you're able to slip 1, 2 more gonna come in, but you ain't got to worry about the 4th, 5th in the combination. That's not what he do. Old dog is not gonna learn new tricks. So for Hurd, it's basically to put the jab out there and then work to the body. For the first 6, 7 rounds, just kill the body and mix up, and then you mix upstairs with the right or left hook or the uppercut in conjunction with the left or the right hook, and you'll be able to get this guy up out of here, in my opinion. I think this fight ends in a stoppage. I really do. Most people think Lara's going to come out here and box circles around him. I think he will, but I think Lara wants to make a statement. I think he wants to go for the kill. I know Swift Hurd wants to go for the kill. And I think Lara breaks the Cuban streak right here, which is Francis Bartholomew losing, Sullivan Barrera losing, Luis Ortiz losing. And I think Lara is going to take this victory late stoppage. I do. I know a lot of people don't see a stoppage coming. Most people tend to believe it's probably going to be a unanimous decision by Lara. But I think it's just like Hurd is just going to have to just go out the way he goes out. And I believe Lara has enough power to put him out. And I believe when you counterpunch, what people don't understand, Austin Trout didn't have the power that that Lara has. Lara has very, very underrated power, especially in that left hand. And I think people, look at the Trout, look at what he did. I think Lara's going to be able to do that times 5 in this fight. I think he's going to be able to turn Hurd, but I think he also going to be aggressive. I think Ronnie Shields going to train him to be aggressive. So, down the stretch in the fight, Hurd won't be so amped, or he won't be so prone to really go for the kill. He had to worry about something. And I think they're going to get Lara to throw at least get to the fourth punch in the combination. And when he's able to get to the fourth punch in the combination, I think that's going to be the one that keeps with her guessing. And I think Lara's going to unleash the boom, late in the fight, and capitalize on some of this dude's, downfall. I think Lara is far better technician than Tony Harrison, than Austin Trout. And I think, obviously he beat Austin Trout, but I think he has a better pedigree and better power and better, he's just a better cracker, as far as punching, velocity, punch accuracy, a better boxer mover. I think he's just a stronger 154 pounder than what Swift Hurd has fought before. He may not be as strong as Swift Hurd, as far as physically, but I think his skill mixed with his physical gifts is going to be too much for Swift Hurd in this fight. I did some good video footage on this fight. And would it surprise me if Hurd won? No, because I've seen him pull off that knife and then bomb 3-1 walk-off homer before. But I just think Lara is just too much of a good fighter. I think he's stronger than most of the super welterweights or junior middleweights that he's fought at this weight class. And I think he's more skilled. I think Ronnie's gonna get him to sit down on that left hand like he did with Angulo and punch in between combinations. And the pressure that Angulo brought, it won't be what Hurd brings early on. So when he does bring that extra Angulo pressure late in the fight, I think it's going to be tough on him to come downhill on Lara, because Lara is going to have a lot of tricks and a lot of slick properties for him. So I look for Lara to get a late round stoppage, if not a unanimous decision. But I think it's going to be a late round stoppage, man. I know I like Hurd personally. He's a cool guy, but it's business. And I believe Lara would just be too much, and then set up a showdown with Jamel Charlo, Erislandy, Lara sometime later this year. Hopefully we can get a big unification clash, and hopefully the winner of that one can, or all of this, who match up with Jamel, can get Saddam Ali, whoever holds that belt in the ring, and they can just have an undisputed champion at 150.